Hola, buen dia. We overdid it with the digging last week, but we pushed through in spite of being stiff and sore. And we finished the parging, we did some woodworking, and we helped with a grape harvest this week. I'm pretty sure I pulled or strained something in my abdomen, probably when I was moving this big chunk of cement and rebar last week. So I was moving a little slower and avoided heavy lifting, but it's feeling much better today. So I started restoring the original door for the guest room this week. It's a beautiful door, but it's old and worn, and the joint compound is crumbling and falling out. And at the moment, it's just a hideous, grimy blue mess. So it needs a lot of TLC.
What's going on?
Apparently, I'm breaking stuff.
Oh, that sounds familiar. Taking over my role.
Yeah, I thought this was metal. Apparently, it's plastic.
Just get rid of it.
Let's just get rid of that. I'm going to repair this door because it's in pretty rough shape. Apparently, I need a hammer that I don't have. Maybe I can use this. Here we go.
There you go.
There's your
Pipes.
my wimpy noodle arms.
Raw.
It's pretty damaged, and it's got the whatever this paint is on it. But I think I'm going to use the angle grinder because it's going to go faster.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to repaint it.
Okay.
You know, after I make a mess and throw everything on the floor.
That sounds about right.
So here goes nothing. I figure I'm going to see what it looks like after a quick sanding. And then I have to fill in all of these cracks.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to stand back because it's going to be dusty.
Yeah, you should probably do that.
See what you got, woman.
See what I got. I should probably wear a dust mask since I don't know what kind of paint this is.
You making the dough now?
I'm making wood filler because the stuff that we bought is garbage. So I'm making my own out of wood glue and sawdust. And it'll work out cheaper than buying wood glue as well because I have a lot of repairs to do on this door.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll work out cheaper to just buy more wood glue.
Then to buy wood filler.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that little tube of wood filler was like 7 something. And it's, I don't know, like 20 years old and doesn't work. There we go. That's a good consistency. What do you think? It's very sticky.
Looks delicious. You should have been mudding the walls. You're way better than me.
Am I?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can always do the last one.
Sweet. Means I don't have to do nothing anymore.
Hey, you're doing it because I can't do everything.
Oh, right. But you're a strong, independent woman. I believe in you.
Do you want it done this year? Then I need help.
Looks good to me. So does your work.
Thanks. It's not going to be perfect, but, you know, it'll be better than it was. It'll have character. So far, I have to say that it works way better than the wood filler that I bought. It's the proper consistency and it's easy to work with. So I guess the test will just be to see how it dries. All right, so the repairs that I did yesterday on the door look like they are completely dried now. So I'm going to take the clamp off and see if it's holding. And it looks like it is, so that's good. So this corner was lifting up on the outside edge. I mean, it's not completely flat, but it's a lot better than it was. And now when I flip the door over, I can also make repairs on the other side as well. But I do have more sanding and repairs to do on this side. The decorative panels in the center of the door had very large gaps on the sides, and I was able to fill them in with the wood filler that I made yesterday. But because it is a bigger gap, you can see that there's some little air bubbles along the edge there. So I am going to have to go in and put another layer to try and get full coverage there. But it is looking good. You can see it. It's a little bit more pronounced on this one here. So the wood filler kind of cracked and is pulling away in this area here where the crack that I was trying to fill was a little bit bigger. But I kind of figured that these areas would take 2 layers, 2 coats of the filler. It already looks better though. So we're making progress. Rain has returned to Portugal due to a cold front, and the meteorological forecasts are predicting 40 to 50% more rain during the autumn this year. So the Silver Coast normally gets about 4 days of rain in September. I guess that means we can expect 8 days of rain this month. So the good news is we were able to work around the rain and thunderstorms, and we finished the parging. And I also made good progress making repairs to the existing parging. So that means that we'll be able to paint the house in 4 weeks after the concrete, the parging, has cured, based on weather, of course. So we're now planning our repairs based on the weather forecast. And for the next couple of days, we're supposed to have no rain. So I'm going along the front of the house, and any of the cracks that I can get the spatula or whatever this thing is called into, I'm scraping them and making them a little bit wider so that it is easier to get the repair compound in and have a good adhesion. So I'm just prepping the wall, and hopefully I'll be ready to start patching some of these cracks soon. The smaller ones I'm going to do with the patch repair compound. And then the bigger areas like this, I'm going to use a mortar mix to fix those ones. just because for the larger ones, it would take multiple coats with the patch repair compound. And the patch repair compound is more expensive. So it doesn't make sense to use it on areas where a mortar mix would work. So you can see I'm just going in with the corner and scraping along any cracks. And then I'm going in with the wire brush, which is very well used, and I probably need a new one. And I'm removing any dust that's in there. Now, where there's bigger pieces coming out of the foundation and there were already some chunks missing, I'm finding when I scrape along here and the loose stuff is coming out, there's actually dirt underneath. So I'm not sure if the dirt somehow got in there after the fact, or if the reason that the parging is failing in those areas is because it was not brushed off and cleaned off well enough in the first place. So it didn't have a good adhesion. So anyway, I'm just trying to get it all as clean as possible. And I'll probably end up power washing this area before I do the mortar mix as well. I'm focusing on the smaller cracks with the repair compound, and then the larger ones will be done with mortar. Now, I will have to wait until this dries to do the mortar repairs, with mortar. But this stuff is supposed to take 12 hours to dry, so that's not so bad. I don't want to leave it too long to sponge off the surface, and I actually left it too long on these ones, I think. Not too bad, anyway. Yeah, I left it too long. Let's see. That one's better. So I need to work quicker and sponge it off fairly quickly after I make my repairs. Otherwise, it starts to feel almost like a glue, and it does not want to blend. It just wants to start coming off. So, yeah, I left these ones a bit too long, so I just have to go gently and with a little bit more water, I guess. And it's just washing it out. So I might have to go and do these ones again. We'll see what it looks like when it dries. So we had some heavier rain last night and this morning. It didn't last very long, but we had some short bursts of heavy rain. And partly because of the roof overhang, I'm sure this wall didn't get as wet. But it looks like my repairs that I did yesterday have held up well. So you can see where I ran out of the store-bought crack repair, and then I started mixing my own. So this is exterior Roboku, and I replaced some of the water with acrylic paint. So you can get acrylic additives for cement that help to make it more waterproof, make it stronger, give it a better bond. So, of course, I couldn't find those here. So I decided to try using acrylic paint, and it has worked quite well. So you can see I did the repairs in this section yesterday, and it feels really good. It has a really good adhesion. It's not crumbling, it's not coming loose, and it survived the rain. So far, so good. Days that are rainy and not suitable for working on the exterior have been spent in the wood shop. So I have window frame number 2 out of 6 done now, and it is going faster and easier now that I have a better idea of what I'm doing, so that's good. One of our viewers, Alex, mentioned that our table saw is set up for left-handed person, and Grant is left-handed. While I'm right-handed, I've had a few skiing injuries, and as a result, my left arm is my dominant arm when it comes to strength and endurance. I'm still right-handed when it comes to better dexterity and finer detail, but yeah, so I kind of use both. He did have a point though, so neither arm for me is good pushing inwards. So my unorthodox method of using the table saw has been to pull against the piece of wood that I'm ripping down, which isn't the correct way to do it and probably not as safe as doing it the correct way. So I have been practicing, and I found that using the push block helps me be able to do it. I still can't push in towards the fence to put pressure on it, but what I can do is to push down. So I'm pushing in a little bit, but most of the pressure I am putting down. So it does help. Let's see if I can show you what I mean. So doing that way still feels a little bit awkward and not as comfortable to me, but I'm gonna keep trying to do it the correct way with the help of the push block, and yeah, see if I can get more comfortable with doing it that way. So thank you, Alex, for your comment, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I have all of my pieces cut, and I'm gonna do a dry fit now. There we go. That's the window frame boxed in.
Amazing!
How's it look? Good?
Looks,
and I made sure that this was level, and when I'm finished, everything should be square. So a lot of the videos out there that talk about how to use an orbital sander talk about the grip progression. So from 80 to 120 to 180 and so on. They talk about the speed that you should set the rotation. So the higher the rotation speed, the better in general when doing woodworking. But something that I haven't really found any channels talking about is the speed at which you should be moving the machine across the surface. So when you're sanding by hand, you're going quickly because that's what's creating the friction to sand the surface. With the machine, slower is better. The rotation is providing the friction and the sanding. So if you're going too quickly across the surface, that rotation is going to leave circular marks on the surface of your wood. So if you go slowly across the surface, all of those swirls are going to overlap tightly and you won't really see them. So today, I'm going to show you what it looks like working on a smaller piece here, going at actual speed, sanding with the orbital sander. Because most videos will speed this process up because, yeah, unless this is something you want to know, it's kind of boring to watch someone sanding. So there you go. If you go with a high rotation speed and a slow speed across the surface of the wood with the machine, you're going to get a nice smooth finish with minimal marks from the sandpaper. So this piece here, you can see all of the circular lines. Now this one was done with the angle grinder with 80 grit sandpaper. So no matter what you do, you're going to end up with these kind of scratch marks because it's just more aggressive and harder to control. But it gives you a good idea of what we're talking about. So those are the circular lines that we want to avoid when we're using the orbital sander. So you can see some more pronounced lines here as well. Now with the orbital sander, we're now sanding to get a nice finish, a smooth finish. So I went much slower. And this was using 120 grit sandpaper on the orbital sander. And we no longer see any of those circular lines.
See if your box fits.
See if my box fits. Yes. Yes, it does.
Does your box fit?
My box fits.
Sweet.
How does that look?
Looks perfect.
Oh, my shim fell out.
Oh no.
There you go.
Level?
Yes. It looks good though. Check that out. Yeah.
So glue it in and
Yeah.
fill it. It's ready to be glued, or you got?
I think I need to paint still. Need to do one more coat of paint.
Yes.
So I figure I'll do one more coat of paint just on this wall so that we can install this. And then once we remove the rest of the tiles that are the baseboard, and yeah, once we're ready, I can paint the rest. The grapes are ready for harvest, so we went and helped Uncle Joe. It was a lot of fun, and they sent us home with a car full of stuff. So they sent us home with a giant bucket of tomatoes. We've already used some for tomato salad and in soup. They sent us home with a big bag of onions, about, I think, a 20-pound bag of potatoes, a giant pumpkin, it's heavy, and 4 jugs of wine from last year. We really appreciate our friends here, and we love that they make us feel like family. So check out the wine harvest. It was fun. So we're up early to pick some grapes. That took us an hour and a half.
Not bad.
Not bad. Rinse up the sheet.
Good stuff.
Quero ver. A menina. Aqui.
Microfone.
Tô! Microfone.
Gosta uma foto?
Sim, peraí.
Ok. So you have to do that twice a day for 5 days.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, you put it into the metal things.
Yeah, and you've gone ferment for
Okay.
Another maybe 2 months. Maybe 2 months. That's the firm. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
So what was called by is that? Huh?
Spying on the neighbors. Is that sugar content?
yeah.
Oh. So
Good.
what does it do? You
The higher sugar, the highest alcohol.
Oh, okay. I finally caught our cat burglar in action, and I've come up with a solution to prevent future break-ins. Look at this. We have a little cat burglar. Hey? So, Rocky is very smart and has figured out that when we're running the dishwasher, we have this window open and there's no bug screen to keep him out. So, in order to prevent him from sneaking into the house, I've cut a piece of wood that fits in here and leaves just enough space for the hoses to go out. And that way he can't stick his little paws in there and open the window. Don't forget to give our video a like, share it with your friends. Please leave us a comment and we'll be sure to get back to you. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. All of that stuff helps us to reach more people on the YouTubes. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Take care, and we'll see you next week. Okay, bye!